Hey boyos, daily check-in with John Vee. It is January 10th, 2026, and I'm getting more frequent with these videos. Um, Mostly because I don't have much to do. So I'll get bored and I'll be like, I'll make a video just rambling. So here I am. Couple things I want to talk about. One is fitness goals when I do get back into fitness. Um, I'd like to see myself, once I do commit to a fitness lifestyle again, I'd like to see myself doing 2 to 4 hours of easy cardio a day, just walking. I know 3 to 4 hours is kind of unrealistic. That's a lot to try to maintain over time. Whereas, doing an hour or two of cardio a day is realistic. Most people, with any kind of self discipline, can dedicate themselves to an hour to 2 hours of walking a day, right? So a realistic amount of cardio, I think, would be 1 to 2 hours a day. So uh, I'm thinking actually like um, 1 hour a day. I'd like to see that be two. Obviously, I'd like to do tons of cardio and do like 4 hours a day, like I did for a while. But that's not realistic. It's not sustainable, right? Because if I start doing 4 hours of cardio a day, I'd ask myself the question: a year from now, will I still be doing 4 hours of cardio a day? And the reasonable answer is no. I can't commit to 4 hours of walking a day. Whereas an hour a day, yes, I can commit to an hour a day, maybe even two. Any more than that is kind of overkill and very hard to commit to. Obviously, if I want to look phenomenal, 3 to 4 hours of walking a day would be ideal. But it's not really realistic, right? It's not realistic at all. And I just had a notification on Facebook. Just give me a moment to close that. I'm not used to wearing my headphones for the computer, so when I get a notification online, it's loud as fuck in my ear. I don't know if you guys could hear it on the video, but it was a Facebook notification and it was loud as fuck. Um, but yeah, ideally, if I did commit to a fitness lifestyle again, probably an hour or two of cardio a day, plus 45 minutes to an hour of lifting weights a day. And I think that's a reasonable amount, right? That's a reasonable amount to commit to. Much more than that would be difficult to commit to, and, it's reasonable. I've known people who were out of shape, and they have these dreams of going to the gym and lifting weights for 4 hours every day, and they tell me about it. I'm just like, are you serious, man? You're gonna lift weights 4 hours a day? You're never gonna do that. Get out! Get! Get! Go on. Get! Out. Out. Go on. Get out. My nephew's dog came in the room. It's a young pup, and it doesn't listen very well. So I got that fucking thing out of my room. I don't want it shitting or throwing up on my bed or on the floor. So, but yeah, like I was saying, I'd know people. They tell me their dream of having 4 hour long workouts every day, and I tell them, man, why don't you just go to the gym for an hour? Like, at least maybe you can commit to that. And they're like, no, I want to do 4 hours, and get really jacked. And they don't do it. They'll do it once, and they never speak of it again. 3 years later, you'll ask them, so how's the workouts going? Looking at you, I can tell you're not working out. And they'll be like, no, I don't really want to. Most people can't commit to, you know, 4 hour weight training sessions every day, and your body can't even handle it. A lot of people just don't know their place. I think it's just the type of people I attract into my life, or used to attract. Idiots, fools, you know, people who always had these, you know, pipe dream fantasies of things they want to do with their life that make absolutely no sense, that is not sustainable or reasonable, that is unattainable. You know, I seem to attract those kind of people in my life, or used to. Those people are gone now. I don't associate with people like that anymore. Um, Geminis, star sign, Gemini or sun sign, whatever the fuck it is, astrology. Geminis, I tend to attract Geminis into my life, and they always have very abstract ideas that make no sense. You know, I had one friend. He was on and off welfare and unemployment for his whole life, and he revealed his dream to me that he wanted to start a trucking company, take out $1 million loan, start a trucking company. I'm just like, are you serious? You're gonna spend $1 million on just a couple of trucks, right? How are you gonna start up a business with $1 million like that? It's not like you're starting a guitar shop in your basement. It's not like that. If you're trying to start some kind of trucking company, you're gonna need $10 million or more to start something like that. And he didn't have any plans or anything. Just his plan was take out $1 million loan, start a trucking company. And I'm just like, that's your life plan at 35 years old or however old he was. I'm just like, why don't you just have a reasonable goal in life, right? Like, if he unveiled his plans and it was, a few hundred sheets of paperwork of, his plans and how he was going to make it, I might take interest in actually think he might have a chance of doing it. But he, literally all he had was a dream and some words, and the words were, I want to start a trucking company, take out $1 million loan, and that was it. So, those are the kind of people I always associated with, because those are the people I would attract. I myself, I'm an Aquarius, so I mesh well with Geminis. I tend to, but at my age, I don't mesh with Geminis anymore. I can't handle them. They're fucked, right? They're fucked. And it's not just Geminis, it's just Geminis seem to be who I attracted to my life or used to. I can't stand most people at all now, right? But yeah, those are the kind of people I associated with, were fools who had these big pipe dreams that never went anywhere, right? I know when I set out to have a goal, I want it to be sustainable. Like, I would love to do 4 hours of walking every day, because the payoff is what I want. And the payoff is to get lean, lose a lot of weight really quickly, look really good with a nice tan and good cardiovascular fitness. And yeah, everybody wants that, but nobody wants to walk for 4 hours a day. Nobody does. And so that's why I know it's not sustainable for me to have a dream of walking for 4 hours a day. I might do it today and tomorrow and then not do it ever again, right? I did commit to walking 3 to 4 hours a day every day for almost 2 months, right? But I would ask myself the question, like, a year from now, am I still going to be doing this? And the answer was probably not, right? Because it's not sustainable. And like weight training, sustainable would be 45 minutes to an hour every day or nearly every day, and that's sustainable. But people I've known, they'd have dreams of lifting weights 4 hours a day every day, and that's not sustainable. Even professional bodybuilders taking steroids, the majority of them don't even train 4 hours a day. So, right? I know as a NEAT, I'm a NEAT. Um, it might be realistic to have a goal like that where I'm doing cardio and weight training, 5 or 6 hours a day total. It might be realistic because I'm not doing anything else meaningful with my time, right? But the problem is laziness breeds more laziness. Stagnation breeds more stagnation. Inactivity breeds more activity, right? And because I don't go to an actual job 40 hours a week, I rot. I just commit to rotting activities like playing games or watching YouTube videos, right? And that's typically what people do when they don't have an active job. They just rot in their spare time as well. They'll go to their job, sit at a desk at a computer for 8 hours, talking to customers on the phone. They come home and they sit at their own computer playing games or watching videos. And, you know, somebody who's really committed to fitness lifestyle, you've really got to have an active manual labor job as a man, right? That's my experience. And if you get into the right kind of work, like construction or something, then you're making good money. But the thing is, most people don't have it all. Most people do not have it all. You're gonna excel in certain areas while other areas suffer, right? And if you have a job making a shit ton of money and it's a desk job, well, you're gonna have to become comfortable with the fact that you're probably gonna be obese unless you're starving yourself. Or in your spare time, you're actually committing to multiple hours of fitness every day. And most people are not. Because, like I was saying, inactivity just breeds more inactivity, right? I found when I had an active job working at like a grocery store, stocking shelves, or working as a construction helper or something like that, I'd come home and I wanted to do more activity. I wanted to go to the gym and work out. I'd walk to the store, and the store would be like 45 minutes away, and I'd do that almost every day. And then when I got into work where I was sitting at a desk talking to customers on the phone, I'd come home and I had no energy. I felt like I just wanted to lay down and lay in my bed and play games or watch TV or watch videos on YouTube. So, any of you neats watching this video, if you actually made it this far in my video, if you're really serious about getting in shape, you're gonna have to get an active job. And then it'll feel like you're working all the time because when I did have a job, it felt like I was at my job all the time. It felt like my job was my life. And that sucks. And because I always worked for minimum wage, the weekend would come, I'd want to do things, but I couldn't because I didn't have the money to do it because I made minimum wage. So it's a vicious circle, right? Most people are floundering around at the bottom, not excelling or succeeding at life at all. This here energy drink, Celsius. It has, I think, 140 milligrams of caffeine. Where does it say that? Fuck, it doesn't say it. One of the other cans for one of the other flavors actually said the caffeine content. This one does not for some reason. But they're quite expensive, $2.75 for one of these fucking things at Dollarama, the dollar store. Um, but yeah, that's all I really want to say about committing to a fitness, healthy lifestyle. Um, Dieting is so difficult, right? Because there's so much temptation, especially living with my sister. So much temptation with junk food that she has laying around all the time. Um, Weight training is fun. Cardio is not. And to lose weight, you got to do cardio and diet. And cardio is boring as fuck. Like weight training is not going to make you lose weight very quickly at all. Realistically, you might lose 10 pounds in a year from weight training alone. That's it. Um, People who know nothing about an active lifestyle or fitness, they always have an opinion. They always have an opinion on how to get in shape, and they don't know what they're talking about. But I'm not content with my life, right? One of the biggest problems I have with my life right now is being so out of shape. I don't want to be seen in public. I don't want to even go out to the store and buy anything because I'm scared. I'm afraid I'm going to run into somebody that, I know, and I don't want to talk to them because I don't want them to see me looking like shit, right? Even living with my sister, and she'll have company, and I don't want her company to see me either because I don't want them to see me looking like shit, right? But I've learned the hard way that if you don't have an active job where you're like a construction laborer or a shelf stocker at a grocery store or something like that, you know, you're going to have a hard time staying in shape. I've learned that the hard way. And I'm typically not a big eater by nature, right? But it's still too much, right? And I've known so many fat fucks, and they always lie about how much they eat, and they'll say, "Oh, I hardly eat anything," and you see them, and they're eating 6 cheeseburgers from McDonald's in one sitting, and it's like, you just told me you don't eat hardly anything. What are you doing? You know. But if you want to actually know if somebody is honest, look at what kind of shape they're in. Dishonest people are often really out of shape. The people who don't have an active job and are in shape, they're honest people, right? Because they're honest with themselves. Because nobody wants to be a fat fuck. But the thing is, the majority of people don't want to put in the work to not being a fat fuck, right? And the physique never lies. The physique's going to tell you if the person is a lazy bastard or not. A lot of people won't like me saying that, but it's the truth, right? And like I said before, laziness just breeds more laziness. And if you're a lazy person by nature, there's no hope for you. You're not gonna succeed at really anything, except for maybe a video game that you play, and that's about it. Or watching 6 seasons of your favorite TV show in a week, something like that. That's all you'll succeed in, right? But there was something else I wanted to talk about, and it escaped my mind. But I don't have to do a complete overhaul of my life all at once, right? I can just do an hour a day of walking, and if that works well and I commit to it, I can up it to 2 hours a day and go from there if I feel like doing more. But I've developed such a bad habit of eating junk food that an hour of walking a day isn't really going to do anything. It won't do anything because I'll just end up eating more, right? But I see all these fat people everywhere I go, and I don't want to be like them at all. I don't want to be like them at all, and I am. And it makes me so unhappy with myself because I don't want to be one of those people. It's just it disgusts me, and I've become one of those people, right? And I should just get my ass in gear and get out there and do a walk and keep it slow and simple at first, an hour a day, right? And just restrain myself from eating too much. But it takes willpower, and I've developed lack of willpower in recent years since I became unemployed and a NEET, right? But I've rambled on long enough. It's been almost 20 minutes, so I'll stop the video there and I'll see you guys online.